So hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm out with my extra heavy setup, 50 to 200 gram rod, in the hopes of catching some big canal pike. Now the plan was originally to go to like a forgotten pond and do some more pike fishing there, but the conditions of the canal are so perfect. Look at that. We've got grey coloured canal, coloured water. We've got about 2 foot visibility throughout the most of the canal, which is absolutely perfect. And not only that, but we've also had some sort of mild weather for the past 2 weeks, meaning that the water temperature should have come up slightly and stabilised. So the best thing about during winter time is if the weather's constantly changing, getting warmer, colder, the fish struggle to adjust and they won't feed that much. But if it's a constant temperature, whether that's super cold or very mild, then the pike will adjust and they will feed quite well. So we've got perfect conditions, overcast, muggy, cloudy, we've got some rain coming, got a bit of sun forecast as well, and fingers crossed it'll be some good conditions to get a few pike out. We'll go through my setup later on and my tactics and methods, but for now let's just try and find some fish. It's been a while since I've done some proper big lure fishing on the canal. Using baits sort of are much bigger than 20 centimetre, so we've got 25 centimetre here. It's been a while since I've done this. I'm really excited to see what we can find today. I didn't realise there was a pike following it right in front of me. Let's come back. Let's come back. Oh yes, what a hit. Oh, we lost it. That was mega. Whoa, what a hit! Right under the boat. Came shooting out from where the boat was in the margin. This one might fall off. It's just hooked with one hook point. In fact, I'm going to handline him because I don't want them hooks to get caught up in the net and potentially tear the fish. I know some people seem to think that netting every fish is the best way, but it really isn't when you've got two O trebles. I'd rather the fish fall off than risk getting tangled up in the net and hurting itself. See, nicely landed. Look at that, just one hook point was caught in that. It is a beautiful, beautiful pike. Loads of leeches on its head, which indicates they're just sitting on the bottom and not moving. Let's give him a little drink and we'll take a look at him. Oh, now as you can tell from the graffiti behind me, I'm in a rather urban area right now, and these urban pike cannot resist a nice big swim bait on a cold winter's day. This fish is freezing cold. It was covered in leeches all over its head. It must have had about 10-15 leeches on it from being sat down in the silt on the bottom, hardly moving. You get a big bait go past it, they can't resist. That bait, if it managed to eat that, would have easily lasted 2 or 3 weeks. So let's get this fish back and let him get back on the hunt, hunting for roach, jack pike and bream, which is what I'm guessing they're trying to feed on this time of year. Awesome. Whoa, come on. There we go. Oh, chunky pike. Yep. Oh. A chunky little pike, absolutely crushed it. Beautiful fish. Lovely fish though on that 25cm Mc Pike. Chunky jack pike. Covered in leeches, look at that. Absolutely covered in them, just flick them all off. Beautiful fish. It's had a beautiful chunky little jack pike. Yeah, it's probably one I'm fishing summertime. Probably would have only weighed 2 or 3 pounds, but it's probably about 4 pounds now. He's got a right fat belly on him and a chunky, beautiful, healthy winter pike. He is freezing, so we'll let him go. So I figured you guys today might actually want a breakdown of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and the conditions that we're fishing in today. So set up very quickly, I'm fishing the Beast casting rod, which is the extra heavy, so 50 to 200 gram for the big baits that we're using today. Obviously paired up with a Revo Beast X, which I've used for like last couple of years now for my pike fishing. 83 pound braid to make sure if we get snagged up we can bend the hooks out. And then the bait that I'm using is a big 25cm Abu Garcia Mc Pike. And the reason I'm using big baits is because of the time of year and the conditions that we're fishing in. Now the conditions today are perfect, and I mean spot on for the pike. And that's because we had a really cold spell, but that was about 2 weeks ago now. And the problem is with pike, when the weather's changing quite rapidly between warm and cold during the winter time, this will actually prevent the fish from feeding very much because their bodies have to adjust to the rapidly changing temperatures. But we've had about 2 to 3 weeks now of temperatures around about 5 or 6 degrees every single day, and it hasn't got much lower than that, which is absolutely perfect. And on top of that, we've had rainy conditions, the water's really coloured up, which is perfect. Normally my local canal is crystal clear, which isn't actually very good for fishing at all. It's great for spotting fish, but terrible for actually catching fish. So we've got about 1.5 foot to 2 foot visibility, which is absolutely spot on. And it's one of the reasons why we're using bigger baits. So like I say, 25cm bait, one of the biggest baits I've used so far this year. And the reason for that is a larger bait in especially coloured water has a lot more water displacement than using smaller baits, and even smaller baits with rattles inside. This I think creates a lot more disturbance because you've got the bigger, heavier bait, it pushes more water, and the big slow thumping action of the tail creates quite a bit of a vortex behind the bait under the water. And in the coloured water, I think is a lot more attractive to a pike, having that sort of vibration under the water, as well as also giving off the sort of vibrations that a bigger fish would. Big thumping action of the tail, a big bait coming through, and the pike know it's probably a good sized snag. And on top of that, a big bait is perfect for the pike at this time of year in the cold weather. Pike, well, all fish in the winter time, the metabolism lowers, which means they can't digest the food as fast as they can do in summertime, which means a bigger meal to these fish will be a lot more crucial to them and their survival over the winter time. So let's say a 5 or 6 pound pike eats a bait of this sort of size. If this was a chub or maybe a small jack pike, it's probably be a fish of between 8 ounce and a pound, depending on how fat it is. And the pike know that. And they know that if they eat a fish of this sort of size, it could potentially last them for up to 2 weeks in winter time. Obviously metabolism's a lot slower, and a bigger bait will slowly digest in the pike and last them a lot longer. So them going for a bait like this is a lot more essential to that fish than going for a small bait. I know it kind of seems like common sense, but in the summertime you'll tend to find pike splashing all over, chasing fry, it doesn't really matter. In the wintertime they do get a little bit more selective, I think, and when there's a bait of this size coming past a hungry pike, they almost can't resist it, especially in this coloured water. So I've had some lovely fish so far, got some fantastic pike. We're out in the countryside now, and I'm kind of hoping for a bigger fish. I was hoping for a bigger one earlier on, but I really would like a big one. These are the perfect big fish conditions. So let's crack on. Whoa, there we go, there we go. Make sure to get a good hook set on that one. It's not a bad fish actually. Could be the biggest one so far. Jesus, that one hit it hard, real hard. They love it in this murky water. Big head shakes. Yeah, definitely the biggest one so far. Look at that. Probably not far off a double, and he's eating the whole bait, look. God, I knew that had to be a decent fish from when it hit it. Oh yes, a double all day. Oh Jesus, that's a really good fish. I've got my mat with me, ready for me to take a better look at this fish, but for now I'll just keep on this grassy bank. It's a real good fish for the canal. On the Mc Pike, 25 centimetres. I've got some bigger pliers if I need them, but I don't think I'm going to need them. Nope, really nicely hooked. Right, I should have bought a bigger net with me, shouldn't I really? Look at that fish. Definitely a low double, probably a 12 pounder, 13 pounder maybe. Just let it rest in the water and we'll take a good look at it. Now would you look at this thing of beauty. 14 pound 12 ounce. Absolutely fantastic. And that is exactly what we wanted to catch today. A nice big urban canal pike on big swim baits. I was caught on the 25 centimetre Mc Pike. 14 pound 12 ounce. Real nice fish. I thought it was going to be smaller than this, maybe like a 13 or 12, but no. Fantastic. Putting on some winter weight now. That really is a beautiful fish and exactly what we wanted to catch today. I'm over the moon. I don't mind if I catch nothing else now because that is absolutely fantastic. Oh, wicked. Let's get this fish well rested and get her back. She's freezing. So I like it in winter time when they're really raring, kicking and ready to go. Beautiful. There we go. There we go. There we go. God, he swam so fast at me, he properly slacklined me. I thought I'd lost him. Whoa, what a strong fish. He's not that big either. Just about to put the big camera on. I just changed my mind. I'm completely... Oh, he's getting me through all these reeds. There we go. Beautiful fish, probably about 6 pound or so. Let him rest and we'll take a good look at him in a minute. Wow, there we have it. Crush that bait. There we have it. Another beautiful pike. This one's probably a little bit bigger than I estimated. It's probably about 7 pound maybe. So let's get this one back, see if we can get 1 or 2 more. Absolutely brilliant. There we go. Whoa, Jesus. I didn't expect a fish that small to smash this bait. You really wanted that big meal. See you later, big guy. So guys, you probably can't tell, but it is getting quite dark. Thankfully this camera has quite good low light qualities. But yeah, it's getting dark. We've probably got about 20 minutes to half an hour before it's almost too dark to even be able to fish. And with that, with the water being fairly dark and it's getting dark, I think we need a little bit more than just the big paddle tail swim bait, which has been absolutely murdering it. What we need is something with a bit more pizzazz, a bit more flash, a bit more vibration, maybe a rattle inside. I'm going to look in my bag now, see what I've got, chuck that out for the last 20 minutes, half an hour, just see if I can buy 1 or 2 more bites, maybe off some Jack Pike. But so far, fantastic session. Let's see if we can get 1 or 2 more fish out before it gets completely pitch black. Abu Garcia, Swartz Onker McKelly. Fairly newish bait, I think they brought it out last year or the year before. So fingers crossed we'll get something on that. There we go, what a hit on the jerkbait as it's getting dark. Call it a jerkbait, crankbait, jerkbait, whatever you want to call it. I'm using it like a jerkbait anyway. But you absolutely T-boned it, log. Both hooked in its mouth. It's only been about 10 minutes since I changed over. Awesome. Quickly slip this little jack back. See you later, buddy. There we go. Oh my God, that's tiny. That is absolutely tiny. What was the point in that, buddy? What was the point in that? That really is a tiny pike just before dark, and I think that might be the last fish to end it on. And my God, that meal would have lasted him a long time, wouldn't it? God, he's an angry bugger. So the light levels have really started to drop now. I actually caught those two pike, the last two you just seen, those little bitty ones, both within about 10 minutes after I told you guys I was going to change baits. Changed over to the Mc Pike, which is more of a jerk bait. It was a floating sort of jerk bait, crank bait, whatever you like to call it. And I was using that on a fast sort of aggressive action just to try and get a couple of reaction strikes before we end the session. And I managed it, and I've caught a stack of fish, what, like 5 or 6 pike. Biggest one I caught earlier was nearly 15 pound, which actually shocked me. The fish didn't look that big in the water, but it was a full fish. Obviously been eating some bream and probably the odd tench as well, which is fantastic. I had an amazing session. If you want to check out those lures that I've used, I'll leave them in the description below, as well as the setup that I've used as well. Thank you guys for watching. It's the first session after Christmas. We're nearly at New Year's, and I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. I'm actually itching to get back out and do some more pike fishing, probably on the Forgotten Pond. So make sure you subscribe to be able to see that and get notifications. So thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys later.